think most of you watching have probably spent something in a game before, like may it be Fortnite or like Overwatch or CSGO. You've probably spent some kind of money on a game besides the purchase price. That's why microtransactions work and they're here to stay, unfortunately. I'm guilty of this as well, okay? I bought my fair share of Fortnite skins. I never put too much into those games because I know I'm not gonna play them forever, but here and there I will spend money on games. But you should be happy to know you will probably never be this person. So a teen girl in China spent $64,000 on mobile games. Mobile games. This isn't even Fortnite we're talking about, okay? This is mobile games. And the daughter who spent this family's money, I thought they were gonna be like, 18 years old. I thought they were just using clickbait. I thought it was gonna be like their own savings they got from their family. They were 13 years old. I don't even know why you would give a 13-year-old access to this much money. Like, why? How did this happen? If you know how kids are, you know they don't know how money works yet. At least some of them don't. And I have no idea why you would ever give a kid a phone with a credit card preloaded or a bank account that has $64,000 of potential losses. Why? I know there's a lot of stories about kids maxing out credit cards and stuff on their phones because they're little gambling addicts, right? But I'm just so confused on how this was even an option for the kid. Like, how did you even give the option for them to spend $64,000? And this has been an increasingly bigger problem, I feel like, because like genuinely a lot of these mobile games are just gambling. Like, you can try to cope as much as you want and try to say it's not gambling. But if you're playing a game of chance to get something maybe good, and most of the options are bad, it's gambling, okay? Like if you're pulling a Genshin Impact or something, it's gambling. I don't care what you say, it's gambling. Maybe not legally speaking, it's gambling, but by definition, it is gambling. I have friends who play Genshin Impact, and I try to tell them it's gambling, and they cope and say it's not gambling. It's gambling. As long as you understand and know what you're getting into when you're playing these games, I think it's fine. If you want to gamble in Genshin Impact, go ahead. But don't try to cope and say you're not gambling because you're gambling. Like if you're gonna pull any kind of loot boxes or something, like in CSGO, for example, that is also gambling. Now, legally speaking, it is not gambling, but it is gambling, especially in CSGO because the skins are worth real money. CSGO is the most akin to gambling, in my opinion, just because the skins themselves are worth a lot of money. So in practice, you are basically gambling for the chance to win like, a couple grand or something, depending on the skin and case. Like the original CSGO case is worth a lot of money on its own because it is so hard to find now. And then the Op Dragon lore is still worth like 2 to 3 grand. And personally, I think it's one of the uglier skins. Like I think there's way cooler looking Op skins that are worth a lot less money, but it's just so rare that everybody wants it. But like, I think there's a better skin to make the magnum opus of Op skins. I don't know. Maybe we should like rework that one. But this girl spent $30,000 on microtransactions alone over the course of 5 months. And she also spent money on classmates so they could play with her. I don't know how you let this go on for 5 months and don't notice. I'm genuinely confused. Like, was your phone hooked up to your savings account? Like, as a parent, you should probably have that stuff on lock because kids are dumb and they don't understand the value of money. At least some don't. I'm not saying all kids don't because some kids get it pretty quickly, but like a lot of kids don't. So I don't know why as a parent you even allowed this to take place, especially such a large amount of money. I feel like this family might be very rich or something, but it says family's life savings. So I doubt that. I don't know. I feel like I would notice pretty quick if there was like, 10 grand here or there missing from my savings account. I think I would notice. I think my bank account would probably also tell me, hey, your balance is dropping pretty quickly. You can set up alerts for that. I don't know why you want to do that in a case like this where you give your kid access to your account. I still feel bad for the family because ultimately this is money that's completely gone. But at the same time, why did your kid have access to $64,000? Why? Your kid does not need $64,000. The kid apparently said she had no idea where the money was coming from or how she was spending it, but she apparently tried to hide evidence from her parents by deleting transactions off her phone. That's insane. That is insane. This kid knew what they were doing. Literally a little gambling addict at this point. But again, it's like, I don't understand how you let your kid have access to this much money. And I also don't understand how you don't notice it missing. Like, I feel like if your savings account dropped pretty dramatically, you would probably be like, hey, why is money going away from this savings account that I never use? I think you would notice. And even your bank account. Like, do you never open your bank account? Do you never check your stuff? Like, maybe the banking system works different in China and you can't do that, but that would be very weird. It's just so insane. Like, I can't wrap my head around like a 13-year-old having access to $64,000, especially since this article says it's their life savings. Why does your kid have access to your life savings? I don't understand. The mother also said when interviewed, I never thought a 13-year-old girl could do this. I'm in a daze. My head feels like it's going to explode. Yeah, honestly, super fair, okay? You know, if I had a kid, and they already cost a lot of money to like raise and everything, and then they spent $64,000, my life savings, on a mobile game that will never, ever, ever make any money ever. That money is gone. I would be furious. So looking back over the article, the mother checked her bank balance after the school called saying that they were concerned that she was playing too many games. And then the mother checked the bank balance and was mortified that the child had used $64,000. I really don't know how you don't catch that sooner, especially if it's occurred over like a 5-month period. That's a long time to not notice something like this. Yeah, that is almost $13,000 a month that this kid spent. I don't know how you don't notice that. I really don't. Like, maybe I'm the minority here where I check my accounts fairly regularly to see if anything's amiss. Because, like, I don't like my cards getting stolen from online stores, okay? It's happened before. So I make sure my transactions are my transactions. So maybe I'm the minority there where I check these accounts fairly regularly. But, like, I'm just baffled. I do not understand how you don't notice 13 grand leaving your account for 5 months straight. And these purchases probably were spaced out pretty heavily too. It was probably like, you know, 20 grand one month, 10 grand a different month. It was probably weird like that. I really don't know how you don't notice, man. So let's be grateful that this is none of us who have this problem. And the fact that they're in China means they can't understand what I'm saying or even access this side of the internet, so they'll never hear these words. And let's learn from their mistakes, since they have no idea who we are and probably never will. Getting addicted to mobile games is probably bad. And if you have a kid or plan on having kids, don't give them access to your bank account or credit cards, okay? They're stupid. They're kids. Don't let them have it. I wish they said the game here so I could tell if it's even a good game or not. Because my mind immediately goes to like those terrible gacha games that literally are like just gambling. Like the whole point of a gacha game is gambling. For the longest time, I thought gacha games were called gacha games because gotcha, stole your money. But no, apparently they're not called that for that reason. I forgot the actual reason, but they're not called gacha games because they got your money. But I think they should be because it makes more sense to me. I'm still baffled how this even took place because there are so many things missing from this story. I wish there was more details too. It is such a short story. It's probably something to do with the fact that this was probably translated like 3 different times or something because it is from China. And I don't know if you guys know, but there's kind of this big firewall that China can't really, you know, get through. And we can't get through. Like, Chinese citizens cannot access our internet and we can't access their internet, at least freely. There's ways you can do it, but it's not as simple as going to Chinese websites or something. You just can't do it. But yeah, I seriously don't even know how this happened. I feel like there might be some kind of mistranslation, but at the same time, it's not that insane. I can definitely see it happening. Like, kids in China definitely have an issue with gaming. There's laws against it for a reason, okay? They made laws against it for a reason. They clearly have a problem over there too. It's not just us. They also have problems. But yeah, never let yourself be this person because I can't think of something worse than losing your life savings to mobile games. I think you should try to avoid losing your life savings to any kind of gambling, but I think if it was over something like Genshin Impact, it would be a lot more depressing if you lost your life to Genshin Impact. I think I feel that 100%. Like, seriously, I'd rather lose all my money at Vegas than Genshin Impact or something. But seriously, do not be the person who spends all of their money in mobile games. You will regret it. I guarantee you. If you want to spend money in mobile games, set a budget and stick to that budget. But yeah, that's the end of the video. Tell me what you think down below in the comments. Like and subscribe if you're new, and click the enter inside, check out more of my content, and have a good one.